first started, I had this terror. It was more than a fear. And I thought, I can't last in this sport. No, it's going to kill me. I just say to myself, one more, just one more. And sometimes you'd look down from the aeroplane and you'd see your car and you'd say, if I survive this jump, I'm going to get in that car and I'm going home and I'm never coming back to this place. I just kept at it and at it, and finally the terror drops down to a nice, quiet little fear, and then you start to enjoy it. You really enjoy it.
Guess you could say that I'm crazy if you couldn't know how I feel. Taking a chance is just part of the game. It's worth it for something so real. Go! Reaching for you, sharing with me. Together as one, feeling so free. This is the way it has to be. Reaching for you, sharing with me. Reaching for you, sharing with me. Together as one, feeling so free. This is the way it has to be. Reaching for you, sharing with me. For you, sharing with me. Together as one, feeling so free. This is the way it has to be.
The Rammy Parachute is designed the same as an aeroplane's wing. It's got forward drive that was unheard of in round canopies. And they've made the sport just so much more fun. And now, instead of just descending, we can fly. You become virtually a pilot. You've got to land this thing and land it as softly as possible. There's a screamer. We got out at about 10,000 feet then, and that gave us approximately about 45 seconds of free fall, and before we had to put a parachute out. And you can do a hell of a lot of things in 45 seconds. After a jump, I'm usually full of adrenaline, and I shake like this. Well, I am cold, but the shake comes from, I just had a big rush, and yeah, it'll take me a little while to come down. The drop zone is more than just just a place where you jump out of aeroplanes. It's somewhere where you mix with people with a common interest. Nothing else seems to exist for 2 days of your life.
Top dive, real good. Well, not bloody cold.
Good spot, mate.
I think it's the friendliest thing I've ever had in my life. I've been in a lot of other sporting clubs, and they really didn't care what happened. But in jumping, people care, they really care.
Yeah, screamer.
Jumping is such an incredible experience. For as little as $100, anyone can do it. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are. If you want to do it, you can do it. And it just involves 1 week into your time. You go up there on the Saturday, you do your ground training, and on the Sunday, you're a skydiver.
Make sure it's a nice solid grip on the step. Put that hand out. There's a lot of wind out there, something like 60 miles an hour. So you've got to make sure you get a good grip there. Follow through that hand, and this leg's out here. Don't be frightened of the wind. It's not going to hurt you. It's just blowing nice and hard, like I said, like on a motorbike. And from there, it's just a gentle hop, like that. Okay? Nothing difficult. You let go. Bang. You fall away, and as you do your count, this tightens up. As that tightens up, that happens. So, as you're falling away, and this stays inflated, all the lines come out. You can actually see that they're held in elastic bands there. As you fall away, all those lines come undone. Just like that. And that's what you call line stretch. The locking flap opens, and then the actual parachute starts to come out of the bag. And the whole thing opens from the top down. Okay, see how big it is? See all the gauze, all the panels that make it up? You've got the apex, you've got the bag and pilot chute there. You've got all these big holes here called modifications.
Packing parachutes isn't such a great big ordeal. It's really just like folding a handkerchief. When you've packed your own, you really know what you've got on your back.
I always pack my own parachute. It's, I think you've got to in this sport, otherwise you wouldn't jump. This jump is basically a lazy lot, and they hate packing. I really don't think you get anyone to pack it for you. This particular parachute cost me $900 18 months ago. And you're looking at about $500 for the container, and anything up to $700 you can pay for a reserve parachute. So they're expensive, but they do last a long time if you look after them.
I landed on a fence not too long ago, and I've got a few good tears in here. So I'm just putting this ripstop on it. Sort of gives it a bit of strength, stops the tear from becoming any bigger. Personally, if I get a hole in this thing, I'd like to make sure it's patched up. You know, it won't really cause any trouble with the features, the flying features of your canopy, but you tend to forget about them after a while. There's so much area here, and if I find one hole and leave it and sort of think I'll fix that next week, well, the next week I might have to spend an hour or two trying to find the one hole in amongst all this material. Okay, power off. Out you get. Go. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Okay, you've got to be aggressive. You've got to put a lot into it, okay? There's no use going up and going 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, because it's going to be wishy-washy, just like this. You go out and you go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. It's going to be that much harder, isn't it? Because you put a lot into it. And that's what we want to see. Really military-like.
3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3,000!
5,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Okay, on the rear risers, watch your height, watch your alts. On your toggles, give it a pump. Approaching 2,000 feet. You'll elect to cut away.
Okay, if you do have an accidental deployment in the aircraft, remember, try and smother it as quick as you can. If it does get out one of the holes, make sure you go out the same hole with it. If at any stage you're sitting beside someone who has this, make sure to get out of his way and give the wearer every opportunity to get out.
Jumping, as we know it now, sport parachuting, was really started in the Army. They really pioneered the whole thing. They have contributed a lot to jumping. Sports clubs started with Army surplus gear. Army jumpers today are a hell of a lot different band of people than they were, say, 20, 30 years ago when they were doing it.
for obvious reasons. Not only are they doing it for sport, they're doing it for a job. And jumping is their whole life, not just their weekend thing.
Determined to have its airborne operations and paradrops tops in perfection, the Department of Defense stages continuing tests at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And here an advance party hits the ground to prepare the way for the main body being disgorged from transport planes of the 18th Air Force. 2,000 paratroopers of the famed 82nd Airborne Division are engaged in the maneuver. The most spectacular mass jump since World War II. A sky full of fighting men ready, willing, and able for any emergency.
Parachuting has come a long way since the Chinese first started jumping off towers way back in the 12th century. Even Leonardo da Vinci had a go at designing them. Fortunately for us, he never tried. Since the Second World War, the sport of parachuting has caught the public eye, with aerial barnstormers performing spectacular stunts like this.
Parachuting in the early 70s was a real gung-ho sport. I think this is where people have got the idea that parachutists are daredevils and they're crazy. And I think from some of the films I've seen, I agree with them.
Geronimo! And now, to mark the beginning of the 70s, last weekend a group of skydivers got together in the sky over a New South Wales drop zone, or DZ as they call it, south of Sydney, Australia, to prove that man can indeed fly. Photographed in freefall by daredevil cameraman Brian Quinn. And this is the Australian record. 14 skydivers linked together. Truly a space-age sport.
Prometheus. I really wondered where they got the name. It didn't seem much of a name for a team that was going to represent Australia, and I thought, a guy sitting on a rock with an eagle eating his liver, you know, that's just not on. And then you check it out in the dictionary and it says a Promethean, one creative, boldly original, one who dares to exceed the bounds which others accept. I think in the amount of time that I've been in the sport and the people that I've jumped with, they're really, really brilliant. I've never seen anything in the sky like it. They're just poetry. They're beautiful to watch.
8-way Sequential is really a fantastic picture of 8 symbols moving around together, doing the same thing together, connections from back to front. To do it well, or as well as Prometheus does, it's really flying. There's no way to describe it. We have a lot of different ideas of how to go about it, but everybody on that team knows exactly which end is which.
The average skydiver couldn't reach that degree of excellence just jumping weekends with different people. That are very good skydivers anyway to start with. And they just do so many training jumps together. They all learn, they sit on the ground, they talk after every jump, they improve on their last performance, and if they can see a mistake in one of their team members, they tell them. It just grows. And over a few hundred practice jumps, this thing just becomes, well, it becomes a team. Well, the world meet is what it's all about. All the practice, all the money. You're finally there, and you've got to do it. It's not a fun jump anymore. This is serious, and this is why you're there. This is why you spent years and years of training.
Ready, set, go!
In one dive, they scored 9 formations, and that would have been enough to win the world meet. But there was a missed grip on the 3rd formation, so they didn't score after the 3rd formation. There was only 3 people in Prometheus actually knew that that grip wasn't taken. The other 5 people thought they'd won. It was only on a replay with the video that it was picked up. It's not just up to a judge's eye anymore. They have cameras, and they can play them, and they don't lie.
After the jump, everybody's under the canopy going, yahoo, and we're all landing really close together, and everybody's going, yo! You know how like you get this vibe that you've just done it, the one that you need, pulled it out of the hat. And the girls are running over and knocking us down, saying, yahoo, go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the results in the 8-way sequential event are as follows. In 3rd place, Prometheus Australia with 79 points. In 2nd place, Auspex Canada with 81 points, and in 1st place, 8 golds to Mirror Image, United States of America with 83 points.
It was neat to receive a medal. Not as good as what we wanted. We felt really good. We all looked at each other and said, we'll see you around next year probably.
When it was all over, and the guy said 3rd place, of course they were disappointed. They never went over there for any red ribbons. These guys wanted to win. But I suppose there's hard luck stories in every team. And I suppose if we spoke to the Americans and the Canadians, they'd have made mistakes too. You can always say if. To get a team like this together, I mean, it's got to be a total commitment. They've got to say, all right, we're going to spend a great deal of dollars, and their life's just not going to be their own for the period of time that they're training anyway for a meet as important as this. None of them have got any money today. They're broke. They spent everything to go to the world meet. Like, you got a training camp, and you're paying something like $12 a jump, and these guys done hundreds of jumps to train. I think they'd do it again. They really loved it. They were dedicated skydivers, and they had a purpose. They wanted to do something, and they bloody near did it. Di done, I think, everything that she could do. She won the New Zealand National. She's a really good style and accuracy jumper. She's been to world meets. But she's a very friendly person. She's a good person to jump with. Always got a smile. She's a great girl.
Go when I'm ready?
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Yeah, pull away for 20 seconds.
and then just go into your style.
Dump?
Yeah, dump straight away.
Your practice is basically learning to do exactly a 360-degree turn, stop it, do another one, stop it, do a back loop, stop it, and still end up facing the same direction. It's hard work. It's not fun. But if I do a good jump, I just love it. If I do 9 jumps in a weekend and the 9th is the only good one, I'll go home feeling so happy.
The sunset load on any drop zone, it's got to be the greatest jump of the day. It's just got so much atmosphere. There is a certain feeling of unwinding, that you've been tense all day, you've been packing, jumping, and the sunset load just tells you that it's all over for the day, and you just feel so totally relaxed.
How long? How did you get? Go. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Partial malfunction, turn to the right. Legs together. Hold. You want me to throw it? Yes, right. Pull. Throw.
Drop zones tend to be one big happy family. Everybody knows everyone else. The amazing thing about jumpers is that they're people first and jumpers second. And they definitely don't have suicidal tendencies, despite what a lot of people think. They're no different to anybody else. All they want to do is jump out of aeroplanes, mix with people with a common interest.
And we had a beautiful little 11-man going.
Athol's always there. He's just really good to have around. Everyone likes to see him here and jump with him, and he loves jumping. He just loves it.
And when I come in under reserve, it was all twisted and I couldn't get my head up. Oh, no.
Well, Athol's always encouraging. He always goes out and helps people, and if they're getting a bit down, he's the one who goes and cheers them up. At the Nationals, he'd come to me and he'd say, "Go, Di, you can beat them. Come on, you can do it." And I'd say, "Oh, Athol, I can't. You know, I'm doing quite well, but I can't keep it up." And he'd say, "Yes, you can. You go out and you do it." And so I did. I went out and did it.
After a day's jumping and you sit around a fire with a can of beer, people just talk. They talk about the sport, they talk about themselves. And you learn so much about people. And jumpers really are a unique bunch of people. Jumpers will rage all night and really enjoy one another's company and feel really upset when it's over. This party should go on forever.
I looked down and here's this nice big paddock. I said, "This is cool, this is great. Fence there, great open country." And this tree went whack straight in this tree. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, you know what you're going to do on your first jump, don't you? Yep. Okay. Power off. Climb out in the strut. Out you get. You'll be out there. Set yourself up. What do you do when you're ready? You ready to go? Look at me, that's right. I'll yell out, "Go!" And then what are you going to do?
Jump and sweat eagle.
Okay, now
Start counting.
Okay. How does that feel?
Great.
How do you feel? All right? Happy?
Nervous, yeah. Apprehensive, but overwhelmed, excited. More than anything.
Okay. Feel happy? What you going to do? Absolutely. You think should be all right. Just do that up a little tighter. Okay. After somebody goes through the training program and they realise how the equipment works, how to handle malfunctions, generally their fears tend to disappear because they know the gear's going to work. They're confident with their instruction, what they know. The only thing they're a little bit worried about maybe is if they stuff up. And there's no way of them knowing that until they're actually out of the aeroplane and doing it. Okay, happy? Let's do it. No worries. Okay, just turn around and back in. Slow and easy. Take your time. Okay, watch that reserve handle back there, please.
always remember my first jump. I think most people that jump do. That's something that really sticks in your mind. I remember on mine, I was very, very frightened. And the instructor was giving a few corrections, a left here and a right there, to bring us in over the spot. And I remember him looking over my shoulder, giving all these corrections to the pilot. And I was thinking, it's got to be soon, it's got to be soon. And I was very agitated. Then you just hear this very loud voice, power off. And it's, well, this is it, here I go. I had this feeling that I really didn't want to do it. And I remember moving, but very, very slowly. I really don't think I was in any hurry at all to get out of that aeroplane. Go! There was just so much tremendous drama. The noise of the aeroplane, the wind, and then total silence. From one world into another in a split second. It's a feeling that I'll never ever forget.
Incredible. It was amazing. While I was up there, when I stepped out, he said, now make sure you watch me. Just keep watching, no matter what you do. Get a good arch and look at me. So when I went, I was just, the instruction come through, but I was just looking at the guy and he just had one big smile on his face. I saw the plane go away. It was just amazing. Coming down was incredible. Oh, it's got me hooked. Got me hooked.
Demonstration jumps are really our link with the public, where people do get their first glimpse of parachuting. But you get out on a demonstration jump, you're going into a sports ground or whatever, or a football field, and you're getting out over a town, and it's just so different. All the houses down there and the roofs, it just looks a lot closer than it is. It's not as free as a normal jump. People expect you to land on this cross, and they expect you to get in. They don't want you landing 2 miles away from a football field when you're supposed to get in there and entertain the public. But if you're good enough to go on a demonstration jump, well, you're good enough to land on that cross. And if you're going to stuff it up, well, you're just not going to go on anymore.
Little Di Rutledge, the surprise packet of the team, is under the red, white and blue canopy. She's a former New Zealand champ and representative of the World Championships. Who said chivalry's dead? Look at Di. She's getting a very cushy landing as the fellas catch her, landing right on target. And finally, it's Tony's turn as the rest of the team point him in for another successful accuracy jump.
I know it's not a lot of things in my life that I've really looked forward to, but I know from Monday to Friday now it's just sort of an existence until the weekend comes, and then you feel happy again. There's no pressure. Like when we've got a DC3 weekend, everyone's really got an adrenaline rush when they walk onto the place. It's different to normal jumping, like say out of 5-place aircraft or whatever. You're going there to do really big jumps. Personally, I start to feel excited around about the Wednesday. Yeah, the butterflies are really big. The public look at you and they say, well, this guy does that, this guy does this. He's some kind of Superman, he's so very, very brave. I think I've met some of the most delicate people I've ever met in my life that jump out of aeroplanes.
Okay. Ready, set, go!
They're just normal people from all walks of life. I don't think you can put it into any category. I mean, I know people, doctors, lawyers, tradesmen, truck drivers, whatever. There's just nothing that says, right, this guy's going to be a skydiver on his background. It's something that the individual's got.
Jim, come look at me.
I've tried this before, it doesn't work.
A dirt dive is really essential to any skydive. It's like a little dance. What you want to do in the air, you've got to do on the ground first, and you practice it and practice it and practice it.
Why don't we go from that compressed accordion to 2 4-man cats? Yeah. And then oppose them, and like that, and then go to a donut, spread out to a donut. Yeah, go back to the compressed accordion. Go to the compressed accordion. And do that one hand, just turn on one hand. Don't take your other grip up until we get it straight. Right? Make sure the compressed accordion is in the middle.
You can work out something really elaborate on the ground and it works really good in the dirt dive. And you get in the air and you only need one person just out of position or high or low on the formation and it just doesn't work. But I think in fun jumping, more so than competition, the dirt dives that I've had anyway, you always have a plan B. And say, well, if this doesn't work, we'll do this.
Have we got a cameraman on this load just in case it does work?
I've been in countless funnels, you know, that's things just go out of control in the sky. Someone takes your air and but everyone seems to get a big laugh about this. I've been taken out so many times and you get on the ground and nobody's ever done it. You go, say, who blew that up? Who bombed the star? Nobody. So there's a phantom jumper up there somewhere. And he's just blowing formations out everywhere. And how's everything in central Queensland, Stu? Yeah, about a year there. Wonderful town. Grown a bit, I think, since '66. Oh, yeah, I think so. You really get to know people when you jump with them. Like you can drink beer with a guy and you don't really know that guy. But when you jump with him, you know him. He's himself. He's not acting anymore. There's no pretense. It's real. It's happening. You really know what that guy's all about in the air. When you're sitting in the plane, you just watch the different reactions of different people. You see some people asleep, other people looking out the window. You see other people that are really agitated and they're checking their gear, and of course that sets off a chain reaction. Anybody that's watching them starts to check their own gear. Some people show fear more than others. Some people try to act super cool, but it's there. It's there with everybody.
I'm scared. But it's all over when you get out. Yeah. No problem at all out the door. In here, big problem. And I think everybody's basically the same. A little bit apprehensive in the aeroplane. I think basically these people love to be scared. And that's why they do it. And I don't think you'd do it if you didn't get a rush.
If you worry about it, it tends to sort of accumulate and you blow it for the rest of the people. You want to make it a good jump for everybody else as well.
Every time you go through the door, you
wonder, you know, how this jump's going to go, what's going to happen, because no matter what you plan, they never really work out according to plan.
When you get out of the door of an aeroplane, you're committed to what's on your back, and all the yelling and screaming in the world is just not going to make that any different. That's there, you're committed with that. And I think once you get this idea in your head, stop worrying about the gear. It's going to work. You feel confident with it. You do a hell of a lot more in the sky.
The feeling you get is a bit like riding a motorbike at high speed. You're right there. You're not living yesterday, you're not living tomorrow, you're not living outside it. You're all right there. And it's all happening very fast.
We're coming up pretty close to the field now, Special. I'm turning left to go over the top. 10 seconds!
Said to me, whenever you get doubts in jumping and you say, why do you do it? Always answer yourself in free fall. Never answer in the aeroplane or on the ground. In free fall, that's where you answer all your questions and you get a true answer. Free fall. That's total happiness. I feel happier doing that than I think anything I've ever done. But there's no sensation of speed. I don't get a sensation of speed. I don't get a sensation of falling. It's just a freedom thing. You actually feel like a bird. If you want to be in a certain place, you can be there. You can fly there. And you do it with people you like, it's just so much better. The free fall part of the jump is the most relaxed part of the jump. But when you're going to put that parachute out, that's... I think I've spoken to a lot of jumpers about this. This is when it happens. It's you're watching every move it makes, and you just want a little bit of start on it. If anything does happen to go wrong, you're on the ball. Malfunctions are something that the jumpers don't really want. I know a few jumpers that have gone through 1,000, 1,200 jumps, never had a mal, and they become a little bit paranoid about this. I know it happened to me on my 81st jump, and it really surprised me. I thought, what the hell have I got here? And I was jumping old gear, but on the old gear it was cape wells, and you've got to pull these covers down, pull rings, to cut away the main parachute. And the gear I had was pretty antiquated, and I put out this 24-foot flat, and it opened beautiful, you know, and it was worth $1 million, that parachute. At the time, you're glad it's happened, because you know, now I can do that. That's great, and I felt happy. But then again, 19 jumps later, I had another one, and yeah, I screamed like a girl. Like everything these days, I guess you reach a point where you feel you can do something well. Then you want to do something different. For skydivers, it's what they call canopy relative work. Canopy relative work hasn't been around for a long time. It's only the last few years. I think people believed that they could do more in jumping than what they'd been doing previously. And so they started putting 1 and 2 parachutes together. They said, well, why can't we do 3, then 4? And now the sky is just the limit with canopy relative work.
Controls are free. Briefing is complete. Gear lever, spring latch. Tailwind lock is in. Completion of gyros. Gas the gyros on 2, 0, that's correct. Scan power. Rolling.
If you want to go snow skiing or you want to ride a motorcycle or whatever, it's no good saying, I wish I could do that. You go and do it. And you mightn't be very good, but at least you do it. And I think that's what life's all about, is doing what you really want to do in life. Not saying, I'd love to do that, but I'm too scared. How do you know if you're too scared if you don't try?
Every time you get out of the plane, you know why you do it. There's just nothing like it. There's no feeling on earth like it, that I know of.
You're flying. You're flying with these guys. Just floating around. Buzz. 1 minute! Left 10! If I ever do live to be an old man, I want to sit in a rocking chair with a smile on my face and say, well, I'd done that, instead of saying, I wish I'd have done that. And I think that sums it up in a nutshell. 10 seconds! Good spot.
Everything I need. The wind in my sails.